What do you think it is to be a man? What do you think it is to be a man?
It's a really interesting
I gotta explain it.
Quite no.
Yeah, that's the question.
It's a really interesting
That's
question.
the question.
Quite
What makes
no.
me a man? I guess because I have male sex organs. I mean, society says that like a man is somebody who's into sports and is macho and.
I think a lot of men, if they have a lot of positive role models, not only from males but from females as well, that they can grow up with a very good balance of both, of being both not necessarily masculine and effeminate, like a good combination of both.
In my day growing up, I guess it was a typical stereotype. What it meant to be a man was being totally macho, the breadwinner in the family. Usually the women didn't work at that time, and it was kind of like I don't know, I look at it as a stereotype existence, maybe like Al Bundy.
Yeah, but that's what our society teaches us, that drinking is manly, that wanting pretty women is manly, and wanting to be very strong is manly.
Society has different ideas of what a man is. I don't know if I necessarily buy into that, but like she said, there's a certain a man's supposed to be strong, provider, supposed to be someone who is the strong silent type, kind of a John Wayne sort. But at the same time, they're supposed to be, they don't show their feelings, they don't cry, they don't emote themselves. So that's kind of what it feels like that's what's going to be put on to be a man. I don't think that most people I know are like that. So because we're not like that doesn't make us any less of men.
Yeah, certain stereotypes that you have to fit to be a man. Like, you have to be the provider, you have to be strong, you have to be like physically fit, you have to take care of your family or be like the most dominant.
It's kind of weird because then you go into stereotypes, and most stereotypes for men are be the strongest, be tall, be fit, be the provider, make money, and definitely not wear heels.
I don't think there's anything specifically a man should have. He could be strong, he could be feminine, he could be sensitive, he could be anything but violent, and I think he's a man.
I think that masculine as a concept is built into feminine as a concept.
I think a man is anything he wants to be. Why place a certain role on what a man should be? I mean, if a woman could be anything she wants to be, why not a man?
It's like a man isn't consistent of just one thing, but many things put together.
A man has to be tough, and he has to be strong. He can't cry. Like, why not? Why can't a man cry? Why isn't it a good thing when a man shows his emotional side and really reacts to something the way a human being should? Why should he have to react like a machine?
Males need to take a more proactive approach in child raising, because I believe that, it starts at home with the child,
To be a man, it is to always think about sex with naked girls and be able to stick the middle finger up and to like girls and be strong.
And money, girl, athlete, and money.
What it means to be a man is you have to have the money, the women, the power, the bling bling, the muscles, and the beard, and 4 women. Yeah.
Yes. Like have muscles and fight.
Again, in my day, it was like you earn the money, you bring it home. Hardcore existence sometimes, totally macho. You can't cry, you can't show a lot of emotion. And I felt I missed a lot of years. So as far as my kids are concerned, especially my boys, I've tried to raise them and teach them to be sensitive to all people's needs, the opposite sex, of course, and you know, try to be a little more independent about their feelings and not grow up in such a hardcore existence. So I hope I've been successful in doing that. And judging by what they're doing, I'm real proud of all of them.
There aren't a lot of positive male role models in spiritual society. We kind of put, most people say like some sort of sports figure as a male role model, and I don't think that's necessarily the best role model for men, is to go after an athlete, because they're kind of that embodiment of too strong, but at the same time they kind of get away with everything. Athletes, you know, always get involved in, not generalizing, but you know, what's going on with athletes getting involved in like drugs, violence, assault against women. Don't know if it's necessarily the right role model for a man, so I don't think there are a lot of good role models for men.
The man to me was my sports heroes. You know, my dad, my sports heroes, and my friend's dad, you know.
Oh gosh. My brother-in-law. My dad. George Bush.
Like Abby Hoffman, but not in so much a zero way.
Do you think Andy Kaufman is a true man?
Abby Hoffman.
Abby Hoffman.
Yeah.
Is he a true man? What a real man is?
Yeah, he's a real man. He's a real person because he stood up for what he believed in.
My dad. Yeah, my dad.
Vitaly. One of our teachers. One of our teachers, yeah.
I have an older brother who's a pastor. When I was going through my troubles in my young adulthood, you know, he was always available for me to talk to him. And when I learned that I could trust him with some of my most intimate, you know, wrongdoings, you know, I learned that, you know, it wasn't about what I did, it was about learning how to do better.
I would say my boyfriend or even my boss, both of them have characteristics that are, you know, they're caring, they're sensitive, but in the same way, they're strong and they're there for you when you need them to be there for you. I don't have a father. He was an alcoholic and split, so guy role models are very few for me.
But mainly my grandpa was my probably biggest influence as a child growing up, and he was probably who I looked up to the most. He was strong, he was very aware of who he was, and you know, been through the wars and things like that, and that was a very good example for me growing up, was my grandfather.
Responsibility, taking account for your actions, understanding, respecting, you know, learning how to live in society, survive, prosper.
Honesty and integrity and a sense of humor and a great smile make a man.
One of the key ingredients to being a man is being a protector.
Upstanding, tells the truth, is not afraid.
Doing what you think is right and just, you know, being respectful to everybody and just following what you believe is right in life.
Upfront and honest with yourself, to be caring and open with other people, to be helpful.
I think a man should be more in touch with his softer side, just to understand a woman better.
Be in touch with their softer side, but still have the strong characteristics to
still know that, yeah,
take care of you.
Right.
To me, to be a man, it just is, you know, to be aware, to realize that everybody's going through something, and that
I think a real man also knows when to say that he's sorry and knows when he's wrong.
I definitely think that a man needs to be strong and charismatic and confident, very confident.
I guess it takes understanding, kindness, awareness of other people's feelings, and play sports really well.
And not to be afraid to express your emotions, no matter how macho you might be.
Like, in order for you to be a man, you have to feel pity for someone. Like, you have to, like, you know, feel like pity for someone when someone is in pain. That you feel for their pain, and you want to help them.
He's supposed to be strong. He's supposed to take care of the women, you know, be the provider.
You no longer can do what you want to do. It's pretty much doing what you have to do. Being responsible, being dependable. Honesty plays a big part in being a man.
Someone who's dependable, someone who's honest, who you can rely on, who's able to admit when he's wrong, who listens.
What makes a man? What makes me a man? I believe being caring for people, and not much being the best you can, but as best as you can be. If that makes any sense.
George Bush.
That's a really interesting question.
Vitaly.
Yeah, my dad.
One of our teachers.
I don't have a father.
That's a really interesting question.
What do you think it is?
I don't have a father.
Anything but violent, I think he's a man.
George Bush. George Bush.
Yeah, my dad.
Play sports.
Example for me growing up.
That's the question. Because I have sex organs.
I don't have a father.
Society
George Bush.
If that makes any sense.
What makes me a man? I guess because I have male sex organs.